I'll just come through right quick. Listen, this is part 3 of the Daycare Chronicles. Okay, so we at the doctor's office. Heaven is being checked out. Me and Anna and Hendrix is outside. They trying to tell me what was said and trying to explain to me what dragging is. This is what these people are teaching the children at the daycare. This is what they showed me, what they teach her, Calissa or whatever name. This is what they was teaching them. This is what the kid was saying. And I'm like, wow. So they done taught them the word drag and jack up. Drag and jack up, okay? So anyway, I'm out there listening to them videoing, just videoing just to see what they gonna say. And it was a trip. So then my daughter and Heaven comes out of the doctor's office, y'all. So I'm like, what they say? Her arm was out of socket. So they figured out her arm was out of socket and they popped it back into the socket while she was there. So the doctor know that 3-year-old ain't did that. 3-year-old, that didn't happen with the 3-year-old. So y'all think about that. You have to really then snatched or really did something. You ain't just dragging nobody, I don't believe, and it came out like that. But this is just one of the incidents, y'all, that has happened. So, I had said last week that my daughter need to find another daycare for her kids. I said, because if you are a daycare, you don't call parents every week talking about, oh, Hendrix hit somebody. Oh, Hendrix did this. Oh, Hendrix did that. And so while we was on the phone and I'm trying to talk to the girl, of course, she trying to talk over me. But baby, y'all know it don't go down like that, baby. You talk to the wrong one, you want to try to out-talk. But anyway, my mama said, and she gonna say, the girl, the owner was saying, they don't have no discipline. They don't have no discipline. What? What? Are you kidding me? This is what they were saying. So if y'all going to daycare and the people saying that about your child, I wouldn't want my children to go there. Last week when I went there and I'm asking questions to the teacher who said she was the teacher of the children. So I'm asking questions, asking a question, what happened, what was going on? Can I see the video? I couldn't see the video. We still ain't seen that video from last week either, right? And I'm telling her, I said, well, this don't make no sense. Y'all calling every Thursday or Friday. What's going on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? Why would you wait till the end of the week? If child acting up, child ain't going to just wait to Thursday. I'm going to do it on this Thursday. And next week, I'm going to do it on Friday. That ain't how children think. It don't work like that, y'all. So anyway, so I'm asking her questions or whatever. I had my phone and I'm glad I did. I videoed. I said, I really wish my daughter can find another daycare. I said, because something ain't right here. I said, every time I turn around, they got a new teacher. And I said, now every week on a Thursday or Friday, they got to leave the daycare. I don't know what these people got to do on Friday, on Thursday, or whatever, but they trying to get them kids out of daycare. It was just, it's just astonishing to me that you want to run a daycare, but you want to be sending people's children home just because, kids hit each other all the time and stuff. So while we were at the doctor's office, we was able to make contact, talk to a daycare system, try to see what kind of, program they have going on, because these kids are very smart. And so last week when I went, y'all, I'm backing up, okay? Last week when they called me to come over there and I got over there to get the kid, they were saying that Hendrix had threw a chair. He picked up a chair and threw the chair. And so I said, well, this shows strange that he all of a sudden starting to have these behaviors. I said, what's going on? Do you have a new teacher again? I said, because y'all have a high turnover rate. That daycare have a very high teacher turnover rate. So I'm not, normally when you have a very high turnover rate, something wrong with the leadership, something wrong somewhere. Okay. And plus, it is alleged that the owner be out there on social media talking about the staff. I had to terminate my whole staff. Who doing it? Who? Okay. And anyway, stuff like that. Ghetto. That's what you call ghetto to me. If you're a professional, you don't be out there telling nobody. Well, I guess if you're Donald Trump and he's not professional, but that's what she was doing, stuff like that. But anyway, so we was over there. We going through all of that. Children okay. Reached out to the daycare. Say, hey, we got 3. Do you have room? Do you have space? Guess what? They have room. They have space. And they have a good curriculum that they have for kids. These kids, like I say, are very smart. And if they continue to be in a daycare like that, that's not teaching children anything, they're not teaching them anything. Everything these kids they knew before they went to the daycare. They ain't taught them nothing, okay? They knew their ABCs before they went there. They know their numbers. They know colors. They know all this. They knew all of this before they went there. So they don't teach them anything. And when I had got there the other week, the kid it's 3, almost 2:30, 3 o'clock. They still sleep laying down. And I'm like, ain't it too late for them to be sleeping? Oh no, they sleep to 3. 3? And when she said 3, this is how I was 3. I said, honey, we go to bed early. We be in the bed at 8 o'clock. Why is they up here? Why are they sleep at 3 o'clock? Is that the reason why the children don't be want to go to sleep? They done slept half the day away. I said, they should not be sleeping to 3 o'clock. Imagine that. The daycare got the kids sleeping to 3 o'clock. Okay? Yeah. That's what it. But anyway, we talked to the daycare. They was really friendly. I like to observe people. Not because I'm just in the room. I'm observing the way that they're treating these parents and these kids as they come in and as they go out. They was very professional. They knew the children's name. Those kids went out of there. Nobody I saw now, not one kid. Clothes was nasty. Food was all over them. Face. I didn't see not one kid leave out of there with a nasty nose, nasty face, or nasty clothing. Not one of them, y'all. And so I told my daughter, I said, I really like the vibe. I like how they're treating the kids and the parents. I said, this may be a good fit. You know, you might just have to sacrifice, do what you need to do so that they can be on learning. So I started asking questions about the curriculum, what they teach them, how they teach them. They got a whole plan, y'all. They got it all lined up. You know, this is what we do. We don't teach them by watching TV. That's what they said. We teach them by hands-on and talking and reading books to them and helping them to learn. That is exactly what they need. And maybe if they was over there at that daycare doing some of that, the kids wouldn't have time to be doing all the stuff y'all saying they doing. You can't just take the kids to the park and let them stay there all day. What? And you can't just you can't be just letting them watch TV all the time either. Teach them kids something. Y'all said y'all went to school to get educated, to be a educator. Teach them something then. Why you want to have a title of doctor or something and you ain't doing nothing? You have no curriculum. You have nothing to teach these kids. They're not going over anything. You don't even have staff that's educated enough, I guess, to even educate these kids. Like I said, the turnover rate has been extremely high, and that is a red flag. If you have children going to the daycare, and every time you turn around, they got a whole new teacher, that's a red flag. Check them out. Figure out what's going on, and make sure you check on your kids. Make sure you're asking your kids how their day went, how you doing, are you okay? You know, because I know these kids come home saying, well, my teacher did this. Well, my teacher pushed Hendred. My teacher hit Hendred. My teacher did this, that, and the other. Listen, y'all, these kids are smart. And they're not coming home just saying what they saying. Check it out. But y'all, that is the end of part 3. I may do some more Daycare Chronicles. Let me know what you think.